Nick here from My Dementia Adventure, and today I thought I'd talk about something that has kind of started to rear its head, if you like. I'm sure it's always been there, and that is the fear of being defined mental. Now, my partner, she thinks people won't take me seriously in business if I attach My Dementia Adventure to my reputation rather than, say, maverick business philosopher or the world's greatest salesman. And the point's incredibly valid, and it got me to thinking, why is this valid? Now, look, if I'm in an accident and I have some physical injury and I put a photo up on Facebook, everybody will tell me to get better soon, and that's fine, right? And if I'm brave enough to say, hey, listen, I'm going through a tough time emotionally at the moment, people will tell me to get better and they'll be there if I need to talk. But if I tell you I have dementia, then I'm mentally unwell and I won't be getting any better. Now, the difference here is, I think, because I'm doomed for a slow death, or because I have a mental illness rather than a physical one, and it might be both. But it's the mental illness where the stigma lurks. The question's always been, am I defined by my illness, or simply is my illness part of me? And what happens is that if I've had cancer or a heart attack or something, no one will catch anything, right? So they're safe illnesses. But a mental illness, well, that's the illness in small font and the mental in a uppercase. And so we forget the illness and simply hear the word mental. And that's the problem, right? So now, as everybody knows, mental people, they're unstable, they're cognitively impaired, just, well, downright dangerous and unpredictable. So our fear of talking to anybody about anything with mental in it is a major factor as why I guess it gets to a point that sometimes it's just too late when we actually start to address it. So when I first told people I had dementia, the first thing they asked me was, have you been diagnosed? In other words, has somebody else told you that you've got something wrong? Why? Well, you're not a medical professional, right? So how would you know? And it's right at that moment that self-doubt and uncertainty creep in. And if we're not strong enough to push back, there's a good chance we will just doubt ourselves and agree. And then we'll kind of go, yeah, well, we all forget stuff as we get older. And maybe for a few years go by and people start to recognize that, you know what, we're forgetting that we just said that, or our car's got lots of dents and scrape in it. And bang, that's too late, right? So my partner is fearful for me because she's aware of the stigma that's attached to mental. And not because she thinks I'm not capable, but because she thinks you might think that. And rightly so. But ironically, it's right at this point that I can be the most help, as I'm still reasonably articulate and sharp enough to challenge the stereotypes. So I want you actually to ask yourself the question, are you less likely to hire me or take me seriously because I've got Alzheimer's? So hey, let me know your thoughts, and as always, I'm your humble servant. Now, sarcasm is a sign of mental wellness. So I'd like to thank Nick Schrewing, because he's a guy that always challenges my thinking and pushes me to do shit. And I'd also like to thank my partner, who actually is the reason we started this in the first place. So look, thanks so much for following me. I really appreciate it. Just building up more and more steam, more and more interest. Please, don't like it. Send it to somebody you think might be useful. Share it to your networks. Let's get this conversation out there so that mental doesn't become a stigma. Thanks very much.